welcome in this community. Celebrate with joy. Celebrate the love we share. Celebrate peace and harmony. Celebrate with joy. Celebrate the love we share. Celebrate our unity. Celebrate with joy. Celebrate the love we share. Celebrate peace and harmony. Celebrate with joy. Celebrate the love we share. Celebrate our unity. Celebrate our unity. Celebrate our unity.
Hi, my name is Lucia, and this is the reading for Sunday, August 23rd. The word is inner peace. The peace of God, the affirmation, the peace of God fills my mind, my heart, and my life. Quiet moments in a fragrant garden, a stroll by a lake or stream, or a visit to any place of beauty inspires a deep awareness of peace. I also enjoy peace in the company of friends, those with whom I have easy camaraderie and deep bonds. Growing in spiritual awareness, I claim inner peace wherever I am. True inner peace comes from deep within me. If I am feeling less than peaceful, I pause and I breathe out worry, fear, and unhealthy concern, giving my full attention to the divine presence within me. I breathe in a peace that soothes my emotions, calms my thoughts, and relaxes my body. As I continue to inhale peace and exhale concern, I move forward with renewed clarity and confidence. Those of steadfast mind you keep in peace because they trust in you. Isaiah 26 verse 3. And again the affirmation, the peace of God fills my mind, my heart, and my life.
Welcome to Unity Comox Valley, a positive path for spiritual living. Unity Comox Valley is a loving, caring community, coming together for spiritual growth and renewal. We actively and consciously serve others by radiating God's love and joy in our daily lives. Thank you for tuning in with us today. We know that as we give more attention to and embrace the idea of the power that we are, the power that we have within us to make changes in our lives and in the world, the better this world will be. In Unity, we recognize that everyone is created with sacred worth, each a unique expression of the divine, of God, of Source. So let's create mindfully and with a positive outlook and a confident stance. Would you join me, please, in prayer? So we just take a moment to breathe. Perhaps close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. As we become still and feel that breath just beautifully flowing in and out of ourselves, we sink into this place of stillness. Perhaps in this stillness you can even feel your heart beating. What an amazing expression of divine life this is. That blood circulating, that oxygen flowing is divine energy in us, keeping us alive, keeping us healthy and whole, allowing us to be the presence of goodness in the world, to make a difference. We know that each and every one of us has something unique to bring. We each have a divine purpose, and so we breathe into that and allow that to express out of us and be at peace with it. There is no struggle in spirit. And so for this we give thanks. We give thanks. And so it is. Amen. Reverend Kelly Isola is back with us today. In addition to her being on the faculty of Unity Worldwide Spiritual Institute, she is also the chair of the Kansas City Interfaith Council and the Missouri Interfaith Disaster Response Organization. She has been on the scenes of tornadoes and all kinds of natural disasters. She's very good in an emergency, and she has a very strong presence that is faith-filled without any religious connotation to it. She is passionate about interfaith and interspiritual work as an avenue for individual and collective healing and peace. And also, she can be a guru of silliness when needed. You may remember that I mentioned that last time I introduced her. So she's going to talk today about the power of divine strength, and I think her talk title reflects some of that silliness. The title is, You Can Muster the Strength to Catch Up to Me. She says, can we use the challenges in life not just to endure, but to become stronger? Just as steel becomes stronger after it is heated, and a willow tree is stronger the more it can bend, so we too draw on and from our inner strength through every life experience. I know you will be blessed by her words and her wisdom in her presence, so enjoy.
Running around fixing this and that, giving it up to God and then taking it back. Just release and let it go. You don't even have to think about it no more. Get out of the way, 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 get out the way, and let God do its thing. You look like the weight of the world's on your back. Just take a deep breath and cut yourself some slack. All that drama ain't good for you. You couldn't change what is if you wanted to. So get out of the way, 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 get out the way, let God do His thing. Woo! The sun's gonna shine and the river's gonna flow. The tide's gonna rise without your say-so. The universe is working and the good is flowing. You don't plant a seed, then dig it up and see if it's growing. Get out of the way, get out of the way, hey, get out of the way, get out of the way, get out the way, and let God do His thing.
Good morning, I'm Reverend Kelly Isola, back with you again, and today we are talking about strength, the light of strength, the power of strength. Strength is one of the 12 powers, one of our 12 core abilities, core capacity. And again, just as a reminder, it's not something you get, it's something that you already are, that is inherent within you, That's why it's called a core ability, or I was going to say core strength, which is true in this session. But they're core capacities. They're innate. These 12 powers are already present. We use them largely unconsciously. And so what we want to do is we want to develop these powers. Why do we want to develop these powers? Why do we want to expand them? Why do we want to grow them? Well, I don't know about you, but I would like to be, I think, living more of my best self, living more of my most noble self. These 12 powers are really part of our toolkit for doing just that. They're also powers that we use for healing. Who doesn't need a little healing in their life? They are powers and capacities that we use to, not just live our best self, but think about it for a minute. What is the end result of living our best self? What does our world look like? Like, imagine around you what life would be like if each one of us was living our best self. And so when we can consciously and intentionally harness these powers, frankly, the possibilities are endless. And I don't say that lightly, but really the possibilities are endless. And even, I think we need to really hold that and believe that and demonstrate that now more than ever. We are in the middle of a pandemic. We are in the middle of probably the strangest and most compelling and challenging time that maybe anyone has ever been that's alive. And so our understanding the 12 powers and using them intentionally for healing, for wholeness, for the reality that we want to see in the world is never more necessary than now. So today is about strength. And spiritual strength is about standing undaunted, persevering, acting courageously, regardless of what's going on around us. So being able to stand firmly, grounded, and move through challenges, move through whatever is going on around us. Each of the powers are what we would call a divine idea or a principle, right? You've probably heard before about 12 principles, the 12 powers, but a principle is a divine idea that is unchangeable. It is, it's law. And so strength is always present. It's just whether or not we're using it, whether or not we are activating it, whether or not we even understand it or know what it is. And let's not forget, we can use these powers for good or not. For instance, the power of strength. Has anyone ever accused you of being stubborn? Right? Yeah, stubborn is the power of strength, just kind of used in a way that may not have your shiniest self show up. When we are stubborn, it may create tension with someone, or we dig in our heels, and when we do that, we're no longer listening. The 12 powers really in and of themselves are neutral, and because we use them, because they are just principle, they are neutral, we can use them to create the world we want, to realize and bring to life that which we desire, that which we most want to see, to act as our best self, the best me I can be. I can also use the powers to show up in other ways. There have been some very evil people, and maybe you don't believe in evil, but people that certainly were not interested in the good of humanity that have showed up over time, that had high degree of imagination, very strong, a very solid power of strength, and zeal, lots of energy, lots of enthusiasm. So it's just important to keep that in mind, that every power, we can use it for good or not. We know from the the story of Joseph and his brothers. Joseph is sold into slavery into Egypt, and years later, when his brothers come to find him, and and they have that moment when they recognize each other, and Joseph says, telling them, when you sold me into slavery. And by this point in Joseph's life, he has become, an advisor to the Pharaoh, and has reached a very high rank, and is not poor and a slave, and how we might think his life would have turned out. And he says to his brothers that when you sold me into slavery, you meant it for evil, God meant it for good. And so strength is about remembering and claiming our divine identity regardless of the outer circumstances. It's not about, it's just courageously meeting the challenges. And it's this, as the word stalwart, right? Someone who is stalwart, which isn't a word you hear very often, but someone who is stalwart is someone who is loyal and grounded and really stands on purpose, is almost, I don't want to quite say immovable, because we do want to be able to move, but the stalwart is that energy within you. It's a facet of your personality, of your way of being, of demonstrating your strength, of standing up to the quote unquote monsters, right? Slaying the dragons, facing illness or death or, financial hardship, pandemic. Many people have lost their jobs and lost loved ones and can't see loved ones, and lots of challenges. We've had lots of really big challenges. And so the power of strength, our capacity for strength, is, I don't know that I want to say it's being tested, but it's certainly, we are being given many opportunities to demonstrate our ability. Strength is about stability, about being courageous, and tenacity. And tenacity is like perseverance, right? When I think tenacity, I often think of like the pit bull, like just grabbing on and holding, like tenacity. The thing about tenacity we want to remember is that sometimes strength is also letting go, but we'll come back to that. So stability is kind of, think about the ground that you stand on. Think about being rooted. Think about being anchored. Think for a moment about what's the firm foundation you stand on. And this actually is connected to faith, which I talked about in the last week. Faith is our conviction, right? Our beliefs. And so we stand on those. And so strength is about taking a look at what we're standing on and how stable are those roots? How stable is that foundation? How stable and how anchored are we in those convictions? In terms of the spiritual strength, in terms of 12 powers, because we know there's physical strength, our body, right? And we know whether or not, like how much we can lift. People go to the gym and work out and lift weights to build their endurance, to build their strength. There's even, exercises you do to build your core, right? So that you are more stable, right? Ever have the feeling of walking and not quite feeling stable or a little out of balance? The same thing goes on for us spiritually and emotionally and mentally. So the spiritual strength does include our physical body. That's part of our developing this power and wanting to pay attention to it, and noticing how that impacts the firm foundation we stand on. I think sometimes when we physically don't feel balanced, or we physically don't feel we're on a firm foundation, when physically we don't feel that way, it absolutely affects how we are feeling emotionally. It affects our thinking. It affects we start to question, and all of a sudden our thoughts and beliefs don't feel very firm. We lose that conviction, right? The thing about stability with the spiritual strength is it's our capacity to anchor ourselves in truth, to anchor ourselves in knowing that there is an unlimited source of calm, an unlimited source of safety, and an unlimited source of balance. that we can stand strong in any situation. We can, during any kind of change, during any kind of weather, right? It's our strength is, not always, I use the word stalwart, and it's about being loyal and, the stable and the capacity, or the tenacity, and perseverance, but it's also knowing when to, like if you're in a boat in a storm, you need to be able to sort of go with the waves. So strength is our power of what Reverend Linda Martello Whitsett calls our standability. So our ability to stand. So pause for a moment and think about the challenges that are going on in your life right now. It might be a financial challenge. It might be illness. Maybe in terms of financial, perhaps you've lost a job. Whatever challenge is going on for you right now, just think about that for a moment. And I know it might be, I don't want to think about it. It's too hard, or, there's too much pain, or there's too much, like, don't make me think about those things. I get it. And the reason that we want to look at them is so that we can see what degree of standability we have. Ignoring the challenges is not a way to build our strength, is not a way to really connect to our strength. It's also not really a way to know where our faith is or how I'm being faithful, to know about the foundation on which I stand. Consider your standability. Imagine for a moment, close your eyes, think about the challenge you're having. And as you think about it, maybe you're feeling a little anxious, maybe a little overwhelmed or worried, not sure where it's going to go, kind of uncertain. And think about this as the perfect place to engage your spiritual strength. Imagine yourself standing strong in the challenge. Because what is it, imagine yourself, your standability, right? Really imagine yourself standing strong. And what does it mean to stand strong? Well, it means that, using, say, losing your job instance, it means standing strong in the knowing that there is a job. It's standing strong in taking action every day to move towards that which we want, to move towards what we want to realize, right? Remember, in faith, I had said it was, conviction and commitment. Show me your conviction, your beliefs, your commitment, and we'll show you what's real in your world. So look at it from that perspective. What is it that I'm standing on? What is it that I know? What is it, the truth? Well, the truth is that there are an infinite number of job possibilities out there. How do I know that? The only way I know that is if I do the action and do the work, is I stand in that truth, right? I imagine that, and now I go online and I look. And there are an ocean of job possibilities, and I just need to find one. It's sort of like, not sort of, it is, when you kind of hear a no, when you think you're hearing no, or this isn't going to happen, or this isn't going to work, or I can't do that, or I can't do this, or the things that are the no's, or the lack thinking, or the limiting thoughts we have. What is it that we're saying yes to? If I'm saying no, if I have any kinds of thoughts of lack or limitation or the no's, then I'm saying yes to something. And my spiritual strength, my standability, my ability to stand, is to be able to pause and recognize, what am I saying yes to? So I'm saying yes to, first of all, acknowledging that there is an unlimited source of calm. There is an unlimited source of peace. I just have to stop, right? I have to pause, take a breath, and stand in that. Stand in the strength of your character. Stand in the strength of your integrity, right? These are all standing in truth, standing in who and what you are. standing in the reality that you have what you need to make real what you desire in life. We do the footwork. And it's not that things magically come because we do the footwork. They come because we've done the footwork to make it real. When I have this experience of all these kind of no's, or these challenges, or I'm feeling overwhelmed or hopeless, or it's just too much, which sounds like a no, then pause for a moment and what am I saying yes to? And the yes is that firm foundation. The yes is what's stable. The next thing is about being courageous. Being courageous is moving forward boldly. That I can be afraid and recognize that that's there, and recognize that that is kind of a no, quote unquote no. So what am I saying yes to? I'm saying yes to moving forward boldly. I'm saying yes to applying this power of strength. I'm saying yes to there are an infinite number of possibilities. I'm saying yes to just one thing, right? One thing today to move me towards showing up as my best self. Remember, I told you the 12 powers? When we activate them, when we engage them, they are within us. When we are consciously, intentionally use any of those powers, and let alone when we use them in concert, really more than anything else. We don't generally use them solo, but by using them in concert together, we are being our best self. And when we are being our most noble self, our best self, we are making real, we are realizing that which we desire in our world. The word courageous, the root of the word C-O-R, comes from the French, which means heart. So moving forward boldly means coming from our heart, which means getting out of our head. Coming from our heart means really coming from that spiritual centeredness of I am, that spiritual centeredness of what is truth, that firm foundation that there is an unlimited source of peace, there is an unlimited source of joy, there is an unlimited source of calm, and then whatever's going on outside me and all around me does not decide and rule over an experience that I have. The spiritual power of strength is responding to it in whatever way is needed. And we do that courageously. The third element is about perseverance. Our stamina, right? Our holding on to spiritual truth, our holding on to what we know is true, regardless of the outer circumstances. Now, here's the little catch about perseverance or tenacity. It means that first of all, we don't give up prematurely. We stay committed to our ability to stand. We stay committed to moving forward boldly, courageously, from the heart. And yet, we also know that perseverance or tenacity, or what we're holding on to, sometimes perseverance means letting go, right? That in order to stand in my strength, I also, not only do I recognize my ability to stand, right, to be stable, my firm foundation, spiritual strength also is about recognizing what I've been holding on to that needs to be released. What ground am I standing on that is really not as firm as I thought, that maybe I need to take a couple steps to the right? That standing strong, being courageous, persevering also means removing things that don't serve, removing the thoughts, the beliefs, the actions that are not serving me to be my most noble self, to shine my light, to create the world that I want. Every time I hear the word strength, and I think about perseverance and spiritual strength and stability and every word around the word strength, I always think about you see those pictures of a little kid, that has on a cape, and I kind of have a little cape on, but has their arms up like, da, 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 my strength. It's kind of true. You can do that. Like while you're listening to this right now, stand up and go, "Da-da-da, strength," because that's what it is. Feel that in your body when you do it. You're like, yeah, strength. We use our strength all the time, largely unconsciously. How many challenges do you have in the course of a day? And challenges can be really little. It can just be, a little annoying, like sounds like the buzzing mosquito in your ear, and you move through it. It's the power of strength. It may not be the strongest strength, but it is that spiritual strength. What our ability to courageously and persistently move through, what's troubling, to courageously and persistently, stay the course, right? To stay the course, regardless of what's going on around you. I love the power of strength. I think it's why I'm alive today. I have had some major challenges in my life, some very, very dark times during active addiction, and yet it was my perseverance, staying true to truth, regardless of outer appearances. My ability to persevere to do that is why I'm alive. During major illness, my ability and my willingness to stay connected to truth is why I'm here breathing. Moving through, loss of loved ones, loss of spouse, loss of, parent, loss of child, loss of jobs, loss of marriage. There's a lot of loss. But being able to move through all of those, and even smaller things. The car won't start. Just out of nowhere, I need new brakes. Oh, $1,200. I don't have $1,200. Things like that. COVID-19, not a small challenge, but our strength, our ability to harness our spiritual strength, to stand on truth, firm foundation, name it, own it, claim it. What is that foundation I'm standing on? The foundation I stand on is there is one presence and one power. That's it. I stand on it, and it comes to life. I see it in my life because of me. It's not outside of me that I go looking for it. It's nothing that I point to outside of me. I activate it. The reason that there is love in the world is because we bring it forward and we be love. That we are loving. The reason that I'm strong is because I bring it forward and I be it. I be strong. I stand up when there's a challenge. We have to learn how to. We have to be taught. Right? So take notice of the times that you have exercised your spiritual strength and build on those. Repeat those, expand them, make them bigger, do it again. Help each other. Point out where you're strong with each other. Then connect that with your faith, connect it with love, connect it with all the powers, and we be the Christ. We be our most noble self in the world. And what our world looks like, there's no end to how awesome and amazing, peaceful, healed our world can be. Let's take that into meditation. Take a deep breath. Breathe in.
In the silence I can feel the love. In the silence I can rise above. In the silence I can hear the voice. In the silence I am home. In the silence I can feel the love. In the silence I can rise above. In the silence feel the love. In the silence I can rise above. In the silence I can hear the voice. In the silence I am home.
Take a deep breath. Breathe in and a big breath out. And feel the breath moving into your body. Big inhale and a big exhale. And just feel the strength of your breath. Feel your lungs expanding and contracting. And I would even encourage you to stand up as you're listening to this, to stand up and feel the power of your body, to just stand tall, to move the shoulders backwards and forwards, to lift your arms in a position of strength. To breathe in and to breathe out. Stretch your vertebrae all the way up. Feel the power of your body. And center your attention on the small of your back. The small of your back is the center of our spiritual power of strength. So just focus your attention there for a moment. And in your mind's eye, as you continue to sit straight and tall and feel the breath moving in your body, feel that strength of your breath. The breath is enlivening the body. And see the light moving from the lower back out to the rest of your body. And repeat the words and affirm for yourself, I am divine strength. I am spiritual strength. I am strong. I persevere. So take another deep breath in and breath out and affirm divine strength. Divine strength is my spiritual nature. I am strong. I am stable. I am steadfast in my body, in my mind, and in my heart. I am the power of strength. I am centered in truth, regardless of what goes on around me. I am rooted in God. I am rooted as the one presence and one power, uniquely as me, rooted in that truth that I can be nothing less, regardless of what I have thought previously, regardless of my life experience. I am confident. I am courageous. I am faithful to this firm foundation on which I stand. I am grounded. I am centered. I am courageous. And I boldly move forward in my life, in all situations. Let's hold that in the quiet. Feel the strength of your body in the quiet. I am stable, courageous, and I persevere. I hold fast to a principle, regardless of the outer circumstances. I claim my divine nature, which is spiritual strength. And so it is. Amen.
In the silence I can feel the love. In the silence I can rise above. In the silence I can hear the voice. In the silence I am home. In the silence I can feel the love. In the silence I can rise above. In the silence I can hear the voice. In the silence I am home. In the silence I can feel the love. In the silence I can rise above. In the silence I can hear the voice. In the silence I am home.
Thank you, Reverend Kelly, for that presentation on divine strength. I hope that you gained something from that, perhaps had a new insight or a new thought about divine strength, about these 12 capacities, spiritual powers that we have within us, that they are there for us to activate, to bring forth, to express, to use. We cannot use them up, for they are based in our infinite source within. I particularly like what she said about strength not only is about going forward, but also about stopping, about saying no. Sometimes that requires a lot of inner strength to reflect and pause and identify what belief, what attitude, what words we're using are no longer do not bring out the highest and the best in us, are no longer serving us, and what it takes to let those go and release them, which is also a sign of divine strength. Right now I am continuing on my holiday and taking time to stop and rest and renew and rejuvenate myself, mind, body, and soul. This is also a time I always take time when I'm doing this to really go deeply with gratitude and appreciation. It's very easy for us to, or for me to, take a lot of things for granted and give thanks for the same things, kind of even mindlessly. I challenge myself with thinking of something that I've never appreciated before, something that is blessing my life or blessing the lives of others that I never really saw in that light before. And so I invite you to do the same. We know that we are surrounded by infinite good, by abundant good. So let's draw that forth. Let's shine our light on that. Let's give that our attention. And we know that where we place our attention creates energy there, creates it to grow and to bloom and blossom. And I think we all would like to see more good expressed and manifested in our world. So just take a moment for a closing prayer before we go to our closing song. We give thanks for this divine capacity of strength. For our ability to root ourselves And not with work, not with effort. It's who we are already. And we give thanks for all the opportunities that present themselves to us so that we can exercise this power of strength. We grow stronger every moment. We give thanks for this spiritual community and the strength that it represents for each one of us. For each beautiful light that each one of you is. For the way that you are shining your light in the world. For the ways that you are a blessing. And we give thanks for all the opportunities to let our light shine, whether it's with our words and our actions, or even in our thoughts, which we know are powerful and creative. And so for this time together, for what we have learned, what we have experienced, how we've been inspired, for all of this, we give thanks. And so it is. Amen.